What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing today? Hey, Emily. Hey, Keisha. Hi, Wendy. Is everybody doing all right? Hey, Michelle. Hey, Inga. What's up? Hey, Michelle. Oh, there's two Michelles on here. Hi, Wendy. How are you? Well, I wanted to... Hey, Garisha, how are you? Yeah, so you guys know the drill. This is going to be a quick scope. Maybe not. I don't know. Could be, possibly. But yeah, if you could share it on Periscope, share it on your social media with your social media followers, as well as heart me up. Yeah, we know the hearts make the Periscopes a whole lot more interesting. And so I wanted to share this with you guys particularly, and thank you guys so much that have joined the mentorship group. We are having a lot of fun already, building a sisterhood, a very unique sisterhood, and just a really awesome place and a safe place for women to come and just support one another, as well as be mentored by me and share. And I can share some of the things that I've learned and just share, because I always get that, you know, from people about mentorship and things like that. And a lot of times I just don't have the capacity to mentor everybody one-on-one, but this is giving me an opportunity to bring women together, to just grow together, and number one, to finish this last quarter of the year strong, to get some goals done. A lot of us have been trying to get a lot of things done, and for whatever reason we have not done the goals and made the moves that we wanted to make. But this is the time, and we're going to work together, hold each other accountable, and support one another and get this thing done. Period. Like, no excuses. We will not be in the same place, this same time next year, in Jesus' name. And so I was so excited because I have not, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, and if you were on my Periscope the week before that, I was telling some of them that were on the Periscope that I had been struggling about even putting the mentorship in place, getting the emails out, getting all the stuff set up for it, which it wasn't a lot, but it was a lot to kind of stop and actually get it done, to get it going. And so that's why I haven't really marketed, if you want to use the term marketed, the group as much as I could. But I asked them, Emily and all of them, everybody that was on the scope, Charnay, everybody, they knew. I was like, y'all have got to hold me accountable to get this mentorship group up. And I knew that I was having so much resistance around it because it was going to be powerful. Y'all, we have 70 women, I think, you guys, that are in the group already. I think we have like 70 women that are in the Facebook group, and we've only been up one day. 70 women that have joined the Facebook group, and we have over 100, a little over 100 that have signed up via email. Some women do not have Facebook, or just don't want to be on Facebook, whatever, so they're not in the group, but they still get a lot of the correspondence, you know, that we send out videos and stuff, and they'll be getting the information in the Mentor Monday videos. I think I'm already branded as the one. Not quite right. Emily, I haven't said nothing. You put that out there. I have not said a word. But yeah, so what's the Facebook group? Wendy, it is a group. Are you a part of have you signed up for the Finish Strong group? If you have not, there is a link in my bio. After we get off Periscope, you can follow the link in my bio. It will take you to where you can enter your name. Yeah, so if you, it'll take you to where you can enter your first name and your email address. It's a really simple form, and it will send you a confirmation. So you have to confirm that you want to be added to the group, and then once you confirm, it'll send you a welcome email with all the details of what we're doing, the mentorship and accountability group. It'll send you a link within that welcome email where you can request to be added to our Facebook group. And so basically the group is about mentorship, accountability, and sisterhood, period. Those three things: mentorship, accountability, sisterhood. I didn't start the group so we could promote ourselves, so I promote our businesses to death and all that stuff. No, we want this group, and not that we won't, because I will have days where, you know, I want to know what you guys are up to. So, I will have days where you guys can tell me about your businesses, how things are going, but I didn't really want it to be that, because I've been in those Facebook groups where everybody's just promoting their stuff and nobody's really supporting one another in just the feelings outside of the stuff that we do, because a lot of times we struggle to get the stuff done because we don't really have that support to help us through those rough moments and all that stuff. So that's what the group is about. So yeah, if you have not signed up for that, there's a link in my bio here on Periscope after this Periscope is over. So yeah, that's basically it. But I wanted to talk about feelings of inadequacy. And if like I said, if you've been on my Periscope's Facebook Live, yeah, it adds 24/7. Absolutely. And I do not want that. That is not the intent of this group. So we definitely don't want that. So yeah, you guys are on a good path. So thank you guys for the hearts again. But I did a preaching practicum. I'm in the ministry school in my church. I'm a member of Potter's House, and we have our preaching practicums where we're doing a lot of preaching, where we have to start preaching. And I'm a preacher's kid, so I've preached before in regards to, it wasn't really my first rodeo, but I vowed that when I got in the ministry school, because it was a new thing for me and it was a new way of doing church. Hey sis, how are you? It was a new way of doing things. I vowed to become a student all over again. And sometimes that's why we struggle with going to the next level, because we don't want to become a student all over again. When you've grown to a certain level and you're trying to break through to the next level, sometimes you have to start all the way back at square one as a student and not knowing anything. And so that's what I vowed to do. And so we had a preaching practicum. And there was a message that I shared. We were in Exodus 3 and 14. So if you have something to write that down, you want to go back and reread it. I'm doing good. Love you so much. Yeah, so if you have not, Angie, you need to make sure you sign up for the mentorship group too. The link's in my bio. We'll talk about it later. Moving into Exodus 3 and 14. So Exodus 3 and 14, and it is talking about when God comes to Moses and he is giving him some instructions on what he is to say to the children of Israel. And he's talking about, God is referring to himself as I am God. So Moses is like, well, who am I going to say sent me? And God is saying, I am sent you. And Moses starts giving God excuses. When you even read through that, and Exodus 3 and 14 was just our scripture that we had to preach from. But of course, as you know me, you read above and beneath to get the whole context of what's going on. And so when I read that, Exodus 3 and 14, it reminded me of a time in my life when I was in high school, and believe it or not, I was a basketball player. I ran track. Yes, please. Yeah, absolutely. I totally stress context, because that's important, because a lot of times people will create a Bible that doesn't exist. I read that today doing my touch ministry study today. Wow. Oh, awesome. God is awesome. So a lot of times people will create the Bible that they want to live by, because they don't put the Bible in context and they don't allow themselves to get context. They just take one scripture and then they create this Bible that we don't know anything about. So, yeah, so context is important. But yeah, it reminded me of a time I was in high school. I was on the basketball team, and I was actually on the A team. In high school, you weren't able to, I wasn't on JV or varsity at the time. I was on the freshman team. And on the freshman team, you had A team and B team. And so what that meant was, the better players were on A team, and then the other players were on B team. And I think there might have even been a C team. I don't know. There might have been a C team, but I was on A team, so I wasn't half bad. I had a few little skills. And so it was one of our last games of the season, and it was of course it was the last game of the season, and we were in the last quarter of the game when this is coming back to my mind. And I remember us being down by 2 points. And so I was a good shooter. So I was a good 3-point shooter. And I wasn't in the game at the time, but coach came to me and he said, hey, Proctor, I need you to go in the game. And it was a critical moment. So I'm like, wait a minute, I can't, I don't want to go in the game right now, because it's down to the wire. And when you're a freshman girl in high school, like, you don't want to be that kid that the coach puts in the game and then you get in and you miss the shot and like cause the team to lose. Like, you don't want to be that guy. Like, you don't want to be that, because you get made fun of course, and it's just not a good feeling because you're a freshman, you're young, and all these things are going through your head. And so I was like, well, no, why don't you put so and so in the game or whatever? And coach was like, no, I am the coach, and I know what you have in you. I know that you can handle this. This is nothing for you. He was like, I watched you in practice. I watch how you discipline yourself. I watch how you discipline yourself in regards to, what you do when you get on the court. And he was like, you're a pretty level-headed kid. He was like, I know what I put in you. And that reminded me so much of how Moses was talking to God, and how God was talking to Moses. And Moses, in his mind, he was thinking about the fact of that he stuttered, and that the children of Israel, like, he wasn't just leading regular people, like, he was leading God's people. Like, this was not a simple, basic thing God was asking him to do. It was a huge thing. But, the thing about it was, even when I look at what my coach told me, I had to remember that it wasn't just about whether or not I made the shot. Because if I made the shot, a win for me was a win for the whole team. So it wasn't just about me at that moment. I had to think that what I did in that moment affected the whole team. So if I made the shot, it wasn't just Rachel won the game, the team won the game. So a win for me is a win for the whole team. And that's what God was trying to get to Moses, or get through Moses, or show us through looking at his life, was that just him doing what he was called to do. Him doing what he was called to do impacts other people, the people that he was leading. How many of you know that there are people assigned to your life? Like, there are people that God has assigned to your life that can relate to your story, that can relate to where you come from, that can relate to things you've been through. And you are in a better place to witness to those people because they can relate to your pain, and you can relate to their pain because you've been there. And so when you do the things that God has called you to do, whether that is to witness to them, whether that is to lead them in a certain way, when you are doing what you were called to do, then they win too. It's not just about you and people patting you on the back and saying, oh, that was great. That was a great sermon, or that was a great song, or that was a great thing you did at the meeting the other day. It's about all the people that are attached to your assignment. Y'all hear me? For real. Seriously. It's about you doing what you were supposed to do. And then you have all these people that are attached to your assignment that are moving forward. When you move forward in what God called you to do, when you are successful in that, those people that are assigned to your life can be successful because they are assigned to you. So a win for you is a win for that whole team. And so this is the thing that I want to talk about when we look at Moses and how he felt so inadequate, how he felt so incapable, how he felt so unworthy to even be in the position. Have you ever been in that position where you didn't even feel worthy to be in that position? Like, you have no earthly idea why God would choose you to do some of the things that he has called you to do. Has anybody ever felt like that? Like, seriously, like, you're like, God, why are you calling me to do this? Like, why now? Like Emily, she was giving her testimony about, and I say testimony, I know she solicited prayer requests, but I say testimony because she's an overcomer. But just how right now, with all the things that she has in her mind, that I want to do these things. I have goals, God. I have things that I'm trying to do. Why am I getting sick right now? Like, why am I having to go get in the bed right now when I have goals to do? When I have things that I know you've called me to do, and it feels like the more that you try to move forward in what God has called you to do, it seems like the more you're hit with things that are pushing you backwards. Has anybody ever felt like that, or is it just me? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems like, the more that we strive, and that's one of the things one of my driving reasons why I knew I had to get this group up and going, is because most women have that feeling. When it is time to step up and get in the game, Our feelings of inadequacy, and that's why I want to share that other message with y'all too that I preached on Saturday, but I'll have to do that later because it just reminded me. I'm gonna stay on target. But our feelings of inadequacy will creep up, and they will remind you of your past, or they will remind you of things that you've done, or they will remind you and they will condemn you. Do you know there's a difference between conviction and condemnation? Yes, God will convict you, but he won't just leave you there. He will show you how to get back on target. He will show you how to get back on the right path, because he's made too much of an investment in you to leave you in your mess, to leave you walking down a path to destruction. But condemnation will remind you of your past, and it will tell you that's it. Like, there's no hope in it. There's no hope in it at all when the enemy tries to condemn you. And so I want you guys to know that. And that's why it's so important that we as women of God hold each other accountable to do the things, even when we don't feel it. Sometimes we can help encourage other people when we don't even feel it. Because there are many days when I'm preaching to y'all, when I'm sharing stuff on Periscope, and I get off Periscope, and sometimes I've broken down crying, because it's like, I'm encouraging other people and things are falling apart in my life, but I gain strength through seeing you guys gain strength. And it helps me to understand when we hear each other's testimonies and see each other press through things and step over the top of their fears. That's what helps us. And so this is the thing that I want to leave with you. I want to leave with you. Yes, I struggle with regarding broadcasting because I don't like to talk to other people. You got to push through that, Wendy, because you have something to say. You got to push through. So your one email to me helped change my blog. Oh, wow. So Emily, we'll have to talk about that off the Periscope too. I want to hear more about that. So that's why we've got to push through what we feel, y'all, because we never know. And this is the thing. Some of us are looking at people, looking at numbers and saying, well, I only had one person, or I only had two people show up, or I only had two people to respond. Well, you never know. And this is the thing. Yes, Moses, he led millions. Moses led millions as far as the children of Israel were concerned. But do you not know that God may be calling you to witness to your next door neighbor? And that next door neighbor, that one person, can go on to witness to 10, and that 10 can go out and reach 100, and that 100 can go out and reach 1,000, and that 1,000 can go out to reach 100,000, and that 100,000 can go out to reach 1,000,000, all because you started with that one. All because you started with that one person that you were obedient in reaching. And they went on to reach more. And those people that they reached went on to reach more. But it started with that one, that you did what you were supposed to do. So in a sense, you did reach 1,000,000. You did touch 1,000,000 because you touched the one life that started the whole chain reaction, right? So I want you guys to know this. This is 3 Ds that I want to leave with you. And this is the first thing. This is the first thing we have to know about the great I am. God is the I am. He is our coach. And he is calling you to get off of the bench and get in the game. Even though it seems like you are at a critical moment, and even though it seems like the task is too great for you, God would not have called you to go get in the game if he did not know you already have what it takes, because he's made the first D is he's made a deposit in you. Just like the caterpillar, he's made a deposit in you. The caterpillar has everything already inside of it that it needs to reach its destiny. It doesn't have to look outside of itself. It doesn't have to get assistance from anybody. It already has everything it needs to become what it is supposed to be. Now, if God can do that for a caterpillar, if God can do that for an insect, what do you think he has done for you, woman of God? Men of God, there might be some men on here too. I don't know. But what do you think he can do for you? Everything that he has placed on the inside of you. You didn't know you going through that trial was developing you on the inside of you to be able to stand in the next assignment that God is calling you to. You did not know that that thing that you lost, that broke your heart, made you stronger, and it made you more compassionate to other people that are going through that, so that you would be able to stand and understand what the other people of God are going through when they're going through a similar trial. You have what it takes. You have it in you. You have it in you. God can give you things that you didn't even know were in you. And a lot of times he puts you in these situations so that you can discover what is already in you. Have you ever seen a toddler when it starts walking for the first time, and it's walking and it's toddling, and then it realizes, oh my God, I'm walking. And then it sits down and it bops down and it cries or something crazy like that. Like, I work with kids all the time, so I see this all the time. But has anybody ever seen that? Like, when it finally realizes, it wakes up and it's like, wait a minute, I'm walking. Has anybody ever had that experience? It's like when you're doing a thing and it's so natural to you, it's something that is natural to you, that when you realize you're doing it, you kind of start to shrink back because you're like, wait a minute, I didn't even know I had that in me. And God is saying that he wants to put you in situations to where what's in you has no choice but to come out. And when you start to work into and to operate in the overflow of what God has put you in there, it's going to spill over onto everybody that's assigned to you. That gifting that's within you is going to spill over onto every woman, every man, every child, every youth, whoever it is that is assigned to your life when you work and you pull from what's already inside of you. Can I get an amen? He has made a deposit in you. And so God is saying it's time for you to get off the bench. It's time for you to stop sitting back. It's time for you to stop playing it small. It's time for you to stop talking about what you can't do and start using what you can do. It's time for you to stop looking and comparing yourself to the next woman and start looking at the greatness that's already inside of you. I wonder, can anybody really understand what I'm saying? Because God has made a deposit in you, and it is time for you to stop idling. It's time for you to stop making excuses and start looking at what God has already put inside of you. Greater is he that is within you than he that is in the world. Stop looking at external things. Stop looking at who doesn't agree with you. Stop looking at who talked about you. Stop looking at people who criticized you. Stop looking at the people who walked away from you, because God is not going to use anybody that left to bless you in your destiny. Anything that can walk. I say if a person can walk away from you, let them walk, because I'm telling you, yes, you will be able to watch the replay, Garisha. It's going to save it. And then I'll share the replay also in the Facebook group. If somebody can walk away from you, and they find it easy to walk away from you, they don't see your value. Exactly, Angie. Bye, Felicia. Bye. And so that's the thing about it, is that God will raise up. And this is the whole thing. When you look at Moses, Moses is like, well, God, I can't talk. I'm not a man of eloquent words. I stutter, God. I'm going to get out there and be stuttering all over the people. Like, seriously? I'm a murderer, God. I killed somebody. Like, I have all this stuff in my past that disqualifies me. But do you know that God is going to raise up a support staff for you? God said, Moses, quit telling me about what you can't say, because I have your brother Aaron, and he is going to speak on your behalf. God is going to raise up an Aaron in your life. Those things that you feel like you cannot do, or those weaknesses that you feel like you can't overcome, God is going to raise up a spiritual Aaron in your life. I believe that for somebody. I believe that God is getting ready to raise up somebody that's going to work with you, somebody that's going to help you, somebody that's going to be able to provide that support for you in areas where you are weak, because you have one goal in mind, and that is going to be to do the will of God. Do I have anybody in here that believes that? Do I have anybody in here that believes that? God has made a deposit in you. The next thing, God is going to give you your delivery method. If you go back and you read Exodus 3:14 is one we're talking about. God is going to give you a delivery method. Maybe God is going to use that abuse that you endured to be able to witness to another woman that's going through domestic violence. Maybe God is going to use that addiction that you overcame to help somebody else that's buried in the spirit of oppression over that addiction. I don't don't know what it is, but maybe God is going to use that thing that you thought you went through for no reason for a reason. I'm going to say that again. Maybe God is going to use that thing that you went through. Not maybe. No, not maybe. God is going to use that thing that you went through to help you to deliver the message that he has inside of you. And you only could be able to birth the message like you can by going through it. You only can birth the message by going through it. You cannot deliver the baby without going through labor. Some of us are trying to deliver the promise without going through labor. Some of us are trying to, let me say this, speaks Holy Ghost. Some of us are trying to deliver the promise without going through the labor. And that's why it is hard. That's why you are spinning your wheels, because you're trying to get around the pain and the process that it takes to birth the promise. Some of us are trying to deliver the promise, but you do not want to go through the labor pains. But God is going to give you a delivery method, whatever that thing is that you felt like you were going to die in, because that's just like the caterpillar. It has to go into the cocoon in order to be able to come out as its destiny. It has to go through a process in order for it to become the beautiful butterfly that is its destiny. And some of us are trying to get around going in the cocoon. I wonder what promises of God you are missing out on because you will not go in your cocoon. We have to go in, y'all. And I'm telling you this, that place that looked like you were going to die in it because it's dark in the cocoon. It's not light. It's tight in the cocoon. And you're not who you used to be, but you're not who you will be. You're some kind of morphed thing, and everything is all mixed up in there as it begins to transform and as it begins to come in the process. But this is the thing about it. That place that you felt like you were going to die in, that place that you felt like you were never going to come out of, that place that you didn't understand why you had to go through it. That place that you feel like was your tomb was actually the cocoon that God had to place you in order to be able for you to get to a place to where you had no other options. Some of us are not doing what God has called us to do because we've got too many other options to explore. Sometimes God is our last resort. Sometimes we have to get everybody's opinion. We have to figure out all the other stuff, and we have to make sure we've checked off all these other things on our list before we decide to obey what God is saying to do. How many of you know the children of Israel wandered around? And if you look at the map, when you look at the map of the actual of where the children of Israel started back, this is in the Bible days, where they started out to where the promised land was, literally it's like, here are the children of Israel at the beginning of their journey. Here is the promised land. Do you know the children of Israel with their crazy self, the promised land is literally right here. So they could have literally just walked to the promised land right there. They went this is them walking all through here, going like this, like seriously, to get to there. How many of you feel like the children of Israel, like the promise is right there if you would just obey? If you would just obey what God is saying to do, it's right there. But because we have to explore all of our options and we have to explore everything that we feel like we want to do, and we have to try to figure it out, and wait a minute, best friend said this and the other. Sometimes we go all the way back to square one. When God is saying, if you would just listen to what I'm saying to do, it's right there. It's right there. And God is saying, I'm going to give you a delivery method. And this is the last thing. God is saying that I have a beautiful destiny for you. That's the third D. I have a beautiful destiny for you. And he's saying, when you push through what you feel like, when you push through feelings of inadequacy, when you push through feelings that make you feel like you're not worthy of the promise, that makes you feel like, who are you to try to tell somebody what God said? Like, who are you? Like, that's what the enemy will make you feel like. But this is the thing, when you push through what you feel like, when you gather your sisters and women of God and other people around you, and you guys rally around one another, you will reach the place that is reserved only for the relentless people that did not stop short of the breakthrough. You will reach a place that so many people never reach. Some people die having never reached the promise. Look at Moses' life. Some people die having never seen the promises of God fully manifest. It wasn't that they died and went to hell and did all that, but they never really see the full promises of God manifest in their life because they always are tethered to the past. They're always tethered to how they feel. They're always tethered to other people's opinion. They're always tethered to who criticized me or who left me or who walked away. But I guarantee you, when you push past all of that mess, and it's going to be hard, y'all. I told you I did not start this mentorship group to tell you something was going to be easy, because even for me, I know that it's not easy, y'all. I don't have a magic pill. I don't have any type of a shortcut or any of that stuff. But I'm telling you, when you push past what you feel, do you know that just like the children of Israel, they were right here. The promised land was right here. Some of us, again, are right at our breakthrough. And we can't see it because we're considering all our options and we're doing that. But God, sorry guys, I had something come up on my phone. That is so amazing, y'all. And so I just want you to feel that it's not about you. Like, I know you think it's about you, but it is not about you. And when we realize that we have a work to do, that we have something to do, and that we have people that are following us, people that are assigned to our life, we realize that a win for you is a win for the whole team. And when you do what God has called you to do, you're not the only one who wins. Yeah, you might get you might make the front page paper. You might get the spot in the news for making the winning shot, but the whole team won. That's a win for the whole team. So yeah, just because God might use you in a way where you're out front and where people can see you being used, it's not just about you. Everybody that's attached to you is winning because you're doing what you were called to do. You are doing what you were supposed to do so that those people can be blessed through what it is that God called you to do. God uses people to minister to other people. And how many people are missing out because you're not doing what God told you to do? How many people are missing out? And so, again, maybe you feel like, this task is too great, or that it's something like that, why would God call me to do that right now? Like, why would he call me to do that right now? And maybe you're like Moses and you feel like you are not the person, you're not the person for the job. But I feel that this is a good place to pray for anybody that feels like they are inadequate, that they don't have what it takes or whatever, because God is our coach. He is the great I am. He is I am that I am. He knows everything that he has already put inside of you. He's been monitoring you. He sees how diligent that you've been. He sees how faithful you've been. He knows what he's doing. And if God has called you to something, he knows that you are the person that can do it. He knows that you are the person that can do it. So I want to pray. Dear God, I thank you for these women and these men of God. I thank you because you are restoring their hope in what you have called them to do. I thank you because you are restoring their faith in themselves, not even just in you, not only you, but faith in themselves, to where they can get out there and get outside of what they feel and get outside of what they see, get outside of their circumstances, knowing that you will never leave us nor forsake us, God. You will never leave us nor forsake us. And that everything that we need to achieve the dreams and to achieve the calling that you have placed on our life is already in us. Help us to remember that when those feelings come upon us. Help us to remember that when the enemy tries to replay our past in front of us. Help us to remember that when even now some of us are dealing with consequences from past mistakes. It wasn't that you did not forgive us, God, but there are consequences that we have to deal with. But help us to understand that even though we have to deal with these consequences, that you can still make a miracle out of our mess. You can still give us beauty for our ashes, God. Help us to understand that. And God, we thank you so much for all that you're doing, all that you're going to do, and all that you have done. And we praise you, and we believe it is done through faith. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all. I'm done, because I didn't want to be on a super long time, but I felt that I needed to say that. Emily, you are so extra. You are so extra. You are so extra. Why are you like that? So yeah, guys, I will holler at y'all later. I'm gonna get some work done for the rest of the afternoon, so I won't be in the group as much until later on tonight. But I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, but you are extra. But you still extra. So yeah, guys, yeah, so that's what's up. I will put the replay, I will upload this to YouTube. It probably will not take me that long, because when I do Periscopes up to YouTube, it doesn't take that long. But I'll try to post the replay, because a lot of people don't have Periscope and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just, I figure I should absolutely, that's what makes you Emily. And so I will post this in the group and send it out via email. But if you are not a part of the group, or if you have not signed up, what was the third D? It was deposit, delivery, and destiny. Deposit, delivery, destiny. The destiny that you will only reach when you don't stop short. Yep. So how can we join the mentorship group? Hillary, it is a link in my bio here on Periscope, and you will need to what will you need to do? Oh, you need to enter in, y'all, I'm sorry. You will need to enter in your name and your email address. And then once you enter in your name and email address, you have to say bye too much time. Jay, don't come on with that. Do not hop on with that. So again, helping Hillary out. Yeah, you'll enter in your name and email address, and then you will get a confirmation email. It will ask you to confirm your email address. You have to confirm your email address, or you will not be added to the email list. So once you do that and you confirm, there's a link in the email that you confirm it. And you will do that, and then it will let you, it'll send you back a welcome email. In the welcome email, it was kind of long, but it has a lot of information for you to know, and then it'll be an invitation for you to join the actual Facebook group. And so that's where all of the interaction happens. If you're not on Facebook, if you're not on Facebook, you're welcome, Hillary. Yeah, if you're not on Facebook, then we understand. But if you still want to get on the email list, you will still get my videos and stuff like that. You just won't get, that interaction, I guess, with the other ladies. But we still love y'all. Some of y'all not on Facebook, we get it. But yeah, guys, so if you're not on there, then Angela, are you referring to yourself saying, oh Lord, because you're not on Facebook? Yeah, okay, we gonna let you make it too. But yeah, y'all, I love y'all so much. I thank you guys who have invited. Several of you have invited. Great, Michelle, off the bench, completed your mission statement. Awesome. So absolutely, and that's another thing. I want to remind y'all, don't hop off just yet. Don't click off just yet. Remind y'all to submit questions for mentor. Yes, this is number 3. Remind y'all, I want to remind y'all, submit questions for Mentor Monday Motivation. Submit questions. Emily done submitted like 1,000 questions. Do I need Facebook for the mentoring program? Not necessarily, Angela, because like I said, I still send out everything via email. And so you can do that as far as the videos and stuff like that are concerned, but the Facebook group just gives us interaction with one another. But you can kind of still be a part of the mentorship that way, I guess. And you can submit questions, and and all that stuff, and you'll get the videos that we make. And when I get on Periscope, stuff like that, you'll have a chance to interact with everybody. But the Facebook group is kind of where all the fun happens, because we're in there together. Like I said, right now we're a little over 70 women that have joined the Facebook group, and that's after one day, and I have not even marketed the group. So I know it is something that women need and that women are wanting. So I'm very thankful and excited about the possibilities that are going to come out of this group. And of course, we will continue the group after this year, because I think it's something that's necessary, but I want you guys to be active in the group and to respond. And not that you have to be in the group all day, because we know that you guys have to work, and you know, you just can't be, I can't see the devotionals on my app. Okay, this is the thing with the app. If you have the Emerge Online Devotional app, and I sent an email out to one of the ladies, somebody emailed me about that. If you go to the app, when you look on the home screen, let me see if I can find it, y'all. If you look on the home screen, hold up. If you look on the home screen, you will, there are 3 at the very top. Hey, Emma, if you look at the very top, you guys are going to have to go through and watch the replay. I think it'll bless your life. If you go through and watch, girl, I'm all confused. I'm trying to look through my Dropbox to see. But anyway, if you look at the app screen on the home screen, when it first pops up, you'll see the, you know, all the little things you can do in the top left-hand corner of your screen. So what will be right up here, like in the top left-hand corner of your screen, there'll be 3 black lines. You click on that black line and it will open up the side menu, and there'll be the one of the first or second things says notifications, and you will be able to see all the old notifications. It'll be a lot of stuff on that side menu. So click that. When you look at when you're holding your phone like this and you look on the top left hand corner of the screen in the app, there are 3 black lines, or 3 grayish black lines. They're little bitty lines. Click those, tap that line, and it will open up the side menu. And I may send out an email or something like that, so that you can get that. But yeah, the old notifications are available by clicking that. Did you guys get that? The person who had that question, I don't remember who that was. Great. So yeah, do that, and then you'll see all the old notifications there. All right. Well, I'm loving it, y'all. I'm loving it. I'm like McDonald's. I'm loving it. Well, I'm gone, y'all. Okay. So, yeah, my Audible came up. All kind of stuff came up. All right, y'all. I'm gone. Gotta go. I will holler at y'all later on tonight. Peace out. I'll have the replay up shortly. Bye. Peace out.